Today's my take on a pattern is going to be very, very different. The original had 42 strings, and we're going to make that a lot more manageable with only 24. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and today we're taking inspiration from this image that came from AZ Claire. It has the pattern number of 50204. Cool bracelet, cool design. The problem is like a crazy amount of strings. I think it's 42 strings, and I was like, you know what? We could do it with 24. Won't be exactly the same, but it'll look pretty cool. So let's give that a shot. So essentially, I'm going to start at the middle. And so in that pattern, there is like 4 diamonds in the center of each of these. So my thought is, if I do it like this, where I have 2 diamonds on that halfway point, what will happen is I'll end up with 4 when I go and match it, flip it, do all that kind of stuff. So we're going to start with red because that's what I almost always do. All right, so there's our first little part of the diamond. Orange. Let's do an orange outside of that. And I don't know if you can picture it, but if we flip this, this will be, this will be perfect. This will have that whole little edge thing like the other. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting in the underlying strings. So that way it's not a whole big thing to do at the end. So this is, like I said, a 24 string bracelet. I am obviously just concentrating primarily on the side with 12. Oh, I somehow hit that with the orange. Let me grab a black. There we go. All right. Yeah, sometimes when you hit the line or whatever, it'll paint more than you intended. All right, so there we go. We've got the orange, we've got the red. Let's do a yellow. That looks fine. So in this case, we have a diamond running up the center. And then this closes in. So essentially it looks like it's 3 colors. I'm not sure what's going in the middle in here yet. We'll figure that out as we kind of go along. But so far all of the edges and stuff are looking pretty easy. Oh wait, there is something wrong. Okay, I see what I did. This is supposed to be the orange. I thought it was weird that it kind of did a quick zigzag there. There it is. Alright. Got a little too carried away. So next is this yellow making the diamonds. Right? Okay, so now we need the orange to come outside of this. And then it'd be the red. Whoops. Why is it not picking up the control? All right, there's the red. So now this red has to do one, two, three, one more. There we go, 4 diamonds. So yeah, new keyboard, some odd reason that wasn't acting right. All right, so that's like that. All right. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of filling in to do here. All right. I don't know where this orange is coming from, but I know that it goes down this path. Oh. And I can see that this orange is going to have to come this way. So we have orange in the center of this diamond. Fair enough. So yeah, just basically if we fill in what we see, we can make sure that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to work out, as well as it'll make it easier as it gets more complicated further on down the line. All right. We don't know where that one goes. We do know that this orange is doing this. So I'm thinking this is going to be a kind of a fun bracelet to make. It is certainly, whoops, my mouse is out to get me. It is certainly not a beginner's design at all. However, it's not like pro level kind of stuff. Why did that one? It's so weird. Every once in a while it doesn't like to fill in the square. I don't know what that is about. Alright, so we had this kind of diamond here. It went outside, so it's the orange inside of this. Right, and then we have the red inside of there. We know that the red makes 4 diamonds. One more. There we go. Okay, since we have these filled in, we can see that this red actually goes, and there's a different red doing this. So that's fine. I knew a bunch of the colors had to be used several times in order to make certain aspects of this work, especially since we're not go with like a different color on, you know, on either, like, because basically I've done patterns like this where it uses 6 colors, but this time we are not trying to do that. We are doing something altogether different. So yeah. In there. So this is where this travels up. And you can kind of make it out like the red, you know, has to go kind of somewhere. It's coming through this path here. And then that is what will start to make these diamonds up here. Easy peasy. And then I guess this one connects up there. And our orange goes through here. We don't have a string for this yet. That might prove to be interesting. This red comes down here like this. And this one comes across this way. And the nice part about this is because the colors keep crossing over themselves, if one strand is getting used a lot more than the rest, we can trade it out if necessary. So that's pretty good. All right. And that's how the orange goes. We'll be able to fill in all the underlying string for that pretty easy. I don't know why I don't zoom in more to make it easier to hit those targets, but it's an ongoing thing. I know I have trouble. So this is turning out rather quickly, and I know you're probably thinking, are you kidding me? This is really slow, but I'm only going to have to do 1/4 of the whole bracelet and use like the whole mirroring effect to actually make this thing a full pattern, which is really going to speed stuff up. So oops, that one and that one. So yeah, those go out that way. We can do the yellow. So yeah, this is far from the original. I totally get that. However, it does bear some resemblance. And that's the cool part. We don't have to always do things exact. And although I probably will mess around with the 42 string one, that's probably a way more advanced bracelet. That's probably something that very few people would do. So I'm giving you guys an option where you can try this without it having to be quite so daunting. Because let's face it, it's less than half the strings. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good thing, right? Whoops. And that comes out here. Whoa. Okay, we're hitting the end. So yeah, it's gonna end a little bit weird, but that's okay. Right. So that goes that way. I'm gonna guess this comes like this. So there is the oranges on that side. Yeah, there's still one color left that we can add to this. What goes in the middle of the reds. If we were looking at how the other pattern kind of handles its colors, I might say that it would be the yellow inside of there, because the way that it reuses its colors a lot, right? But I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like maybe we add a fourth color to this. Right? I mean, yeah. All right. So as you can see, I'm filling in what are the easier ones, what I can see needs to get done, so I can figure out where other colors go. So now I just figured out where the red goes. So, because this comes through, right? So yeah, the red is up here. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I've filled in everything else, and there's just one string. Yeah, okay. Let's stick to this whole rainbowy thing and make it a purple. It doesn't seem to do a lot over here on the right doesn't show up because the edge is the way it is. I guess it could show up if you added one string on the outside. If you're trying to do what I hear everybody calling the straight edge technique, you would get a diamond over here like this. So if you added a strand on there, mind you, that kind of throws off the whole thing if you wanted to have the kumi loop like I'm going to add, because yeah, this particular size works out really good for the kumis. So that's up to you guys if you want to have the purple show up on the edges or not. But yeah, liking the purple out here. And the way that this thing, like the colors kind of bounce in and out, I suspect this is going to be relatively easy to make. Oop, we missed some of the orange right here. That would pose a problem later on. Whoop. Yeah, it's this keyboard, isn't it? God damn it. For some reason, my keyboard keeps turning off. Like, and it actually has lights on it, so if I actually look at it, I'd be able to see it. Why is it doing that? I have no idea, but it's making me crazy. Let me finish out that. And there's the orange. I have filled it all in. There we go. Now, as stated before, we can copy this section here. Notice it's right on that middle line there and on that middle line there. Control C, Control V. And then we use the flip tool and flip it horizontally. And slide this over to the edge. And it kind of just snaps into place because it's got a up and down and the bottom here. Right, so that lines up perfect. And we can now anchor that layer. And then why did that? Oops, oh, it's in alignment. Like, why did that not go? Okay. Control C, Control V. Flip, and this time we want vertical. And zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Layer and anchor. And that, see how we have got the middle with the 4? And it gives us basically 4 all around. It kind of starts out in the middle of something, but if we go any longer, it's going to be really too long of a bracelet, and it's possibly going to use up too much of the string. And obviously yellow is the color that's going to be used the most. It doesn't have anything that works as a replacement. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe you'll actually make this yeah. I think this is going to be a cool bracelet. All right. Hey, you guys have a good one. And thanks to my Patreon supporters who made this possible. Couldn't do it without you guys. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.